Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning exciting fireside chat. Pause, shift, rebound, the co-working way. The session will be moderated by Mr. Mayank Sharan, Director, ANAROCK Retail, and we have our esteemed speaker, Mr. Amit Ramani, Founder and CEO, Office. Welcome, panelists and moderator. May I now request Mayank to kindly take over the session. Over to you, Mayank.
So, good evening, everyone. I am Mayank Sharan from ANAROCK, and welcome to the third Real Estate Confluence Indian Real Estate Vision 2025. We have an interesting fireside chat with Mr. Ramani lined up, and the topic for our chat is pause, shift, and rebound the co-working way. Let me start the session by introducing Mr. Ramani to the audience. Mr. Ramani is the founder and CEO of AWFIS, which is the largest network of co-working centers in India. He started AWFIS with the vision of revolutionizing the office space delivery ecosystem in India through technology backed just in time. Mr. Ramani's strong background has allowed him to provide innovative and complex project services to multinational corporations. He's the member of YPO Delhi chapter, RICS, and NASCOM. Hi, Amit.
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Thank you to CII and ANAROCK team.
So, Amit, let me just start by asking you my first question. What was the vision with which you started the whole journey of AWFIS?
So, Mayank, I think clearly in 2015, there were very few models to go after. There were a few global models, but locally, there were very few models that one could emulate. So we kind of created our own playbook, and the playbook basically looked at three elements. One was flexibility, so people should be able to take number of seats for the duration that they want. Second was accessibility, and now with almost 70 plus centers, we have a network where within a 15-20 minute driving radius, you would get an office center. And third was transparency, right? That's where technology played a role, where it was a plug and play environment. You would discover the price on the platform, book it, and use it and be on the go. The other piece that was important was that we were clearly addressing a very underserviced commercial real estate opportunity, which was the SMEs and their requirements in the country.
Correct.
And which was a large chunk, and clearly we positioned the product there. And third is our managed aggregation model, where we felt that, because in this country, the real estate market is very fragmented, we could partner with the landlords to create a much higher return for both the tenant, in this case, us, and the landlord, and also de-risk the business to some degree, because us and the landlord were taking almost equal risk there. So those were the kind of basic principles on which we started Office. Today, obviously, we operate close to about 40,000 seats across 72 centers, 11 cities. So we have truly built a network which is able to address the SMEs, startups, and the corporates and the enterprises in the country.
Super. This story of co-working was almost, very, very vibrant before the pandemic happened. Almost 12 months into this pandemic, how do you think the journey has been so far for you guys?
So I think obviously the first few months, everybody was in an uncertainty mode. So it was a bit hard. Sales were low. People were leaving co-working spaces. People who had short duration contracts, etc., obviously left. So the first few months, I would say the first quarter, April through June, was a bit hard. But things have picked up fairly well. And clearly, we are, as of October, we are almost at pre-sales levels of pre-COVID levels. And what we see now, a big change that happened, it was almost like a demonetization moment for fintech. Not that I wish COVID should happen to us, but it actually accelerated some of the adoption. And the biggest adoption that happened was for the enterprise customers. Above 500 seats to almost 2,000 seats, which was a market which was almost sitting on the fence, has stepped in clearly, and they are looking at flex space, co-working space as an alternative to conventional space. So clearly, we have seen some fast tracking on that opportunity, and a market which was about 25 million of 1 billion square feet, 25 million being co-working, is slated to become anywhere between 2x to 4x, right? A market becoming really large. And the third piece which is happening is that people are very concerned about the network. the credibility of the brand, and the ability to service their requirements, which are getting far more complicated than what a SME would have. So enterprises are commanding that brand and are commanding that ability to deliver a consistent experience across the network.
Super. During this whole pandemic, we heard the whole social distancing, and based on that, my next question to you is, has there been any specific alteration in the co-working spaces design and the de-densification of the seats?
Yeah. So three key things have happened. One, obviously, the hygiene levels have gone up. So clearly keeping a high hygiene level, keeping all the checks in place, like temperature check, having a thermal scan, all of those elements have come into play from a physical infrastructure standpoint and management of that physical infrastructure. Second, we are managing by ensuring that social distancing is happening by using alternate seats, creating the right social distancing by keeping 6 feet within the spaces, de-densifying the space to ensure that that 6 feet distance is maintained. The third is the technology element, and I think the technology starts from the start of where you enter the building. So clearly we have put with our partner landlords certain technology checks in place. So this could be thermal scans, could be a visitor management system that's totally touchless, to coming to our workspace where a QR code lets you in. You can order food through the app. We have integrated the app with the Arogya Setu. So anybody entering is in any case checked through the Arogya Setu system. So all of those technology elements is the third piece that we have done. And I think clearly some of this is going to continue to stay. I think these were things that were probably required, and I think now have been implemented, at least in our network, and our partner building networks are implemented to ensure the safety of our community members as well as our employees.
No, that's exactly what my next question was, but which you answered, which was the technology bit. But clearly, that seems to be one of the advantage that almost all co-working players are playing. Amit, in terms of business, you mentioned that you're back to pre-COVID level as of October. But how was the journey over the first 2 quarters of financial year, which went back last year? And where do you see this year the ending of almost all your seat sellings?
So, Mayank, the first quarter was a bit hard in terms of new seat sales. Obviously, clients did take a bit of a approach of let's just give a notice where there's an opportunity to exit because there was uncertainty. The second quarter, I think stability started coming in. Seat sales started going up. Customers, less and less customers started leaving us. Stability came through enterprise customers taking a view that this is going to be, short-lived, maybe another, 3 months, 6 months. And I think clearly what we are seeing now is that that fear is gone, right? I mean, people are back to malls, people are back to flying, people are back in hotels and in restaurants. Similarly, that fear is gone, right? So people are back to the workspace. Physical occupancy has gone up considerably, almost doubled. In many cities, the physical occupancy is almost up to 60-70%, right? So which gives us the confidence that yes, the new seat sales are up. Enterprises are looking at co-working as an option. Clearly, physical occupancy is back. So work from home, while it sounded great, I think people have realized, now kids are going back to school. So I have no reason to stay back at home. So let me also think about, coming back. And I think that's happening clearly. More and more people we are talking to, they are saying we want to get back to office. The social connect is missing. People are tired of working at home. So what we see is in the next couple of months, and fingers crossed clearly, we hope we don't have any other, blips there. But if all goes well, my sense is that most local multinationals, SMEs, and startups will come back to offices as of April. Our global multinationals are looking at somewhere around June and July. So maybe a couple of more months of a bit of pain. But I think physical occupancies are back. Contractual occupancies were ramping up in any case with the new seat sales. And my sense is that it will expand the market, which was about 25 mil, will become close to 30-40 million just in 2021 because of the pent-up demand. I'm extremely bullish. I think it's going to be a rocking year for co-working in 2021.
Great. You mentioned about the de-densification of the seats. Does that put any impact on the cost per seat for the occupiers?
Mayank, I think some of it might have a minor impact, right? I mean, because to go from to maintain that 6 foot distance, for example, you only have to put in about 10% extra de-densification has to be about 10%. So there is some impact, but clearly we all understand that some of it is required, it's necessary. And we in any case are going forward and ensuring that the new densities are in place in any of our new centers being rolled out. We're retrofitting some of the old centers to make sure that that's happening. And customers are smart, right? They do understand that, if there is a extra cost, then somebody has to, take control of that, right? And clearly from our standpoint, I think some of it we have absorbed and some of it our customers are gracious enough to, support us in that.
Super. What do you think the future is? Where do you think this business is headed?
So it clearly got established as an alternate option, right? But clearly before that, it was, let me do a warm shell, let me do a fully fitted out option. Now today, I can say with certainty that flex and co-working is an option in addition to all options that were available for real estate occupiers, right? Cool. So clearly that's one thing established. Second, as I said, I think India is far ahead in terms of thinking of new flex options, like for example, managed offices has become mainstream. Co-working hybrid models were already working really well. People are talking about now just providing the services and not owning or leasing the base space. So I think as an Indian entrepreneurship, is clearly evolving. So is the co-working industry, and the co-working industry continues to focus on providing solutions that work for the customer. And I think we are extremely fortunate that there are formidable players, there are serious players, there are 10, 15 players that are driving the market, and they're driving the market in a direction where it's going to help the customers in the long run, right? Flexibility is going to become the core. Pricing obviously is going to be more value driven, because clearly you're not stuck for the 6 years, 9 years, you have a short-term duration. And third is the network, right? Clearly for somebody to have, 10 locations as part of the business continuity planning, as part of the distributed model, would not have been possible if there were no co-working operators. So clearly, I think as a partner, we have as a segment, we have established ourselves as a solution for the occupiers. The occupiers are only going to benefit by looking at flex and co-working as an option as they look at their real estate strategies.
And clearly, in line with this was, your newest acquisition that you've done with Prestige. Congratulations on that. That's a large one that you've gone out and taken up almost 200,000 square foot, right? That's the new acquisition that you have done. Perfect, sir. That's pretty much from my side. What I would probably like to summarize this fireside quick chat, sorry for a little delayed start, was that, presently you were at some 70 plus centers. October last year, we came to pre-COVID levels. 60-70% absorptions have already started taking place. By April, you feel that the domestic market will probably come back full swing, and by June or July, the MNCs and others will come back to offices completely. Great. That's pretty much it from my side. Thanks, Mr. Ramani, for this chat.
Thank you, Mayank, and thank you, CII, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramani and Mayank, for that excellent session.